In the Face-to-Face podcast, the people listen to two separate yet equally important hosts. Drew, who goes off script on fevered rants, and Markus, who disseminates and translates the information for human consumption. These are their stories. Scene. Officer James Stetson is called to investigate a possible 1337, the third such call he's had today. Upon arrival, he finds an erratic young man hiding in his bedroom closet. Special Agent Robert Collins is brought onto the scene.
What do we got here, Stetson?
Male, 20s, Caucasian, same condition as all the others, sir. Malnourished, carpal tunnel, eye strain, speaking the same nonsense.
Where is he?
Well, neighbors found him hiding in the closet. No one can get him to come out.
Wait here.
Collins enters the victim's room. A familiar scene. An overturned desk, a laptop in pieces, a thrown chair. He spots the victim curled over in the closet, hugging his legs and rocking himself back and forth.
It's all right, son. I'm Special Agent Bob Collins. I'm here to help you.
Collins cautiously kneels down next to the victim.
What's your name, son?
Barry.
You want to tell me what happened here, Barry?
I just wanted a PlayStation 5. They were so fast, I didn't have a chance.
Who? Who are they, Barry?
Barry turns to Collins. His face is pale and his hair is patchy from being ripped out. The bots! Dun 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 dun.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
That's such a good theme, dude.
Yeah.
So bots.
What about that thing?
That's terrible. It's not hanging fruit. I apologize.
What a boot.
Canadians.
Yes.
Sorry.
So we used to call them CPUs back in my day, but that's not really politically correct anymore.
Yeah, big CPU doesn't like people talking about that.
Bots are a program that's designed to simulate and automate a usually repetitive human task.
Right.
And usually with no further instructions. So you set it and forget it.
Right, like a robot.
But it's specifically software. That could be your friend or your foe in video games, for example. They could be tech support, customer service. You probably dealt with like a chat bot before. Many apps and services are essentially bots with pleasant interfaces.
Right. Sometimes you're not even aware that you're the person you're speaking to is a bot until they say some hilarious thing that you're just like, that doesn't make sense. Oh, I get it. You're not real.
Yeah. So recently, AI has really boosted their capabilities.
Give Turing a run for his money.
Yeah, exactly. Like machine learning, deep learning, natural language processing, natural language generation, and computer vision. It's just
all not terrifying things.
Right. So I'm going to put some kind of like shopping music. Kind of like imagine like the Homer Simpson montage.
Like elevator music, basically. Yeah.
So here at Face to Face, we offer a wide variety of bots to suit your needs. There's a bot for everyone. There is the chat bot.
Ooh.
Such as Eliza, the computer therapist. That's a really interesting story.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Yes. This dude from MIT in the 80s built a bot that was like basically a virtual therapist.
So you could just download all your fucked up problems onto or whatever?
Yeah, you type to it and it types a response back to you, contextualizes your words and like, well, how did that thing make you feel and whatever. And there's a story he tells about like his secretary, he showed it to his secretary, and then like after a couple of responses, he's like, can you leave the room, please?
I'm having a personal conversation. Do you mind if you leave, please? Thank you.
There's the crawler bot. Whenever I see the word crawler, I want to use a British accent, call it a crawler. Crawler.
Well, everything in an English accent just sounds cool if you think about it.
That's true. They scan websites for specific content.
Right.
And it's basically like, you can think of it like a search engine. That's what they do.
Like Honey, right? I think that's a crawler.
Yeah, it's kind of like an advanced version of a crawler bot, because that also kind of goes into our next one. What's a dumb thing that people buy online? Give me a dumb thing. We're doing Mad Libs right here. Give me a dumb thing people buy. 3 seconds.
Gold Bond foot powder.
Okay. So the shop bot, sort of an advanced crawler, if you will. It surfs the net, as the kids would say, for the lowest prices or better products to help you find that perfect Gold Bond foot powder.
No, the powder's better. The cream is too greasy. I gotta put my sock on afterward. Come on, dog.
All right, so now let's talk about the not-so-benevolent bots. There's password bots, or brute force bots. Yeah, so the password bots, they just sit there and guess your password over and over, doing different combinations. You know, Stewie going 111, 1112, 111, 1113. Damn,
that's hilarious. Real quick, freaking what we're going to be talking about later today. A small portion of that is what Edward Snowden was leaking. Hey, just so you know, I want to try to meet up and everything like that. But just so you know, this like thing that I'm talking about that the NSA has can make like 1 trillion guesses of your password every second.
Right. Yeah.
No big deal.
Yeah. There's the social bot. Or, you know, any fake account. That's kind of what I'm talking about.
That's the bot that likes to go around and just, it's like extroverted, you know, likes to buy people drinks. You know what I mean? Just will not shut up at a party.
Yeah, he's that guy you just want to punch in the face.
In the face.
Stealing
like,
all
who
the
invited
girls.
this social bot?
So, those are the suspiciously attractive people on your social media and dating apps.
Yes, totally. Thank you. I am pretty handsome.
Yeah. And, you know, they're really just trying to get you to buy shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, wait, no, that's influencers.
Yeah, totally.
Sorry.
Well, that too. Well, these are the ones that like want to get you to like download stuff, right? Like,
right.
You should get a Kik account so that you and I can talk because I'm so hot and you're so funny.
Right.
Ha 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 ha.
But they do though. You know, they'll also post like fake reviews on products or services to
that
make
should be
them
illegal.
Look, yeah, I agree.
That should be illegal.
They're trying to make them look more reputable or desirable or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Or less reputable and less desirable if you were to use that same technology maliciously.
Mm-hmm.
Write a whole bunch of scathing freaking Yelp reviews.
Yeah, they can create fake outrage or hashtag movements.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people need to be
non-traverses.
Yeah, people need to be aware of this sort of thing.
Totally.
Be aware of fake or paid reviews on the internet.
Totally.
Because companies can totally just pay people to make fake reviews.
Yeah, they'll like freaking inundate like a network or something with a whole bunch of like calls or emails and stuff or whatever. Like that South Park joke that's hilarious about like, everybody, we got like 10 phone calls, or maybe it was Family Guy or whatever. Like, we got 10 angry phone calls last night. And as we all know, each phone call is 1 million people. That means 10 bazillion people called and we're angry.
Yeah. Social bots, they can artificially inflate the popularity of certain accounts or ideas.
Dude, when we were setting up our YouTube account for this podcast or whatever, I had somebody hit me up like, man, it's such a shame that you don't have like thousands and thousands of views. Your content's so great. I have an idea, bro. If you pay me some money, I'll give you a whole bunch of like followers. Like, thanks, but fuck off. Like,
I want real fans.
Yeah, straight up, dude.
Yeah. Some are obvious and some aren't. They're only getting better. Of course, it's being exacerbated by things like AI generated faces.
We were talking about that in our deepfakes episode.
Right.
That's terrifying.
Exactly.
We're talking about how the computer's really good at generating faces that don't even exist.
Aren't real people.
Yeah,
I mean, why go and steal pictures if you can just make them
create them? Yep, totally.
Yeah. Sort of related to that is the spam bot. I'm sure you've come across these. Pumping a bunch of ads everywhere.
Totally.
So they're in your inbox, or you might even see them in like a comment section.
Totally.
You know, they might have like a generic comment at first, like, "Oh, great video, bro," or like, "This was cool." But did you ever try this?
The banks are run by the Jews. That's a big one a lot too that you always see. That you're just like, really, dude, fuck off. You're not even real.
Or boobies. Yeah. Now that I've got your attention.
Yeah, totally.
And then it proceeds to tell you.
But also this thing.
Then they just proceed to tell you all about Viagra.
Yeah, exactly.
Or the Church of Scientology.
You mad about not getting hard? Well, buy this freaking blue pill that'll tell you about how Xenu is going to get rid of those thetans for you.
Right, exactly. So next on the list is the sneaker bots. Sneaker bots. Sneaker bots. Sneaker. Sorry, listening to some Outkast lately. So this is the one that's been on a lot of people's minds lately. So we talked about how bots are great at automating tasks, right?
Right.
It is especially true when it comes to the internet, which is the land of the bots.
Right.
You know,
land of the bots.
They've been trained for this.
Yeah. Been waiting.
I came across this great CNET article when I was looking all this up. It tells a pretty good story about this. I'm going to be quoting in and out of here. So, quote, a pair of Kanye West's Yeezy Wave runners, which retail for $300, have sold for as much as $2,000 on the secondary market. So these sneaker bots are usually developed and deployed for scalping, right? Which is where you buy something and then sell it for more money on the used market.
It sounds like hyper trading.
I'm very glad you brought that up because I'm going to get there.
Okay.
That's awesome. That's good that you know what that is. People sell the bots themselves or to collectors or resellers to sell the bot services.
Right. The access to the program.
Mm-hmm. Another quote. On one Slack channel for sneakerheads, a user offered to pay $2,750 for a Cyber AIO license. And Cyber AIO is the one bot that this article specifically focuses on.
Word. Okay.
So as we mentioned in the robots episode, bots can act faster than we can even think. They can do hundreds of things a second. That's what they're designed to do. It's
right.
Computers. Oh, here's another quote. One company bought 1,012 tickets to a U2 concert at Madison Square Garden in a minute. Nearly 17 tickets a second.
Jesus.
Yeah. Try to compete with that.
You can't.
No, you can't. You might ask, how widespread is this problem with sneaker bots? Here's another quote. When these very big sales are going on, said Moshe Zioni, a director, probably screwed up that name, but a director of threat research at security company Akamai, close to 100% of the traffic is bots alone.
Jesus. Well, because, I mean, it makes sense. Like, if they're so much more efficient at doing it, and they can...
And they're basically emulating thousands of people.
Yes, using the network at the same time under one brain.
Right.
Very Borg-like.
Yeah. It's kind of like this new online battlefield where the cybersecurity teams are trying to thwart the bots by making more tests that are like human tests.
Yes,
right?
yes. Like,
and then
pick the like little squares that have all the pictures of the car in it or something.
So you're familiar with CAPTCHAs. I'm going to talk about those. So they try to fool the bots by making more human tests, and then the bots makers are then trying to pass those. You know, they're trying to prove the sentience of their machines.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's another interesting quote. For 1 month, and one unnamed bot identified by Akamai had been gearing up to fool security software designed to make sure only real people were buying sneakers off the major shoe company's website. The programmers knew what Akamai's detection program looked for and spent hundreds of hours recording thousands of, quote, human interactions on the same website. Think mouse movements, clicks, and typing patterns that reflect how you and I would use a computer.
Terrifying.
Not the immediate and automatic way a machine would.
Right.
When it came time to buy sneakers, this bot could slip by, insert pre-recorded actions from a real human, dart to checkout, and clear the shelves. Akamai's software couldn't tell the difference because the bot was so sophisticated, said Josh Shaw, vice president of web security at Akamai. The attacker clearly had inside information, he said. The bot's creators knew that Akamai's detection remembered data for only 30 minutes at a time. So even if a bot was blocked, it could return in 30 minutes and appear to be a completely new visitor. The attacker also knew what the detection program looked for and how to work around it perfectly. After months of amassing all that human interaction data, the bot struck in July, successfully faking out Akamai's software. All this for multiple pairs of sneakers.
I mean, I guess I get the point because you got to look beyond like the thing you're buying.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If you have the ability to control production of things, basically, you can control like the market in a way, or maybe not control it, but you can influence the market.
What do you mean?
Well, if you can clear out things, you can change the value of things. Because,
absolutely.
Yeah, because we're on a market based,
like the diamond industry.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, when they find a whole heap of diamonds or whatever,
yeah, what do they call
take
that?
like a tenth of them and then destroy the rest of them.
Scarcity or something.
Yeah, planned obsolescence or like planned scarcity.
Yeah.
Or artificial scarcity, I think is what it is. Yeah, or inflated in scarcity, all that shit. It's the same thing of like supply and demand problem. And so if you can artificially fuck with either the supply or the demand, you can mess with the whole.
Yeah, I didn't even think of it like that. Yeah, you could control the market. You'd be like, I'm the only one who has these.
I only have the Yeezys, bro. You want Yeezys, dog? You gotta come to me.
Yeah, it's like freaking cyber mafia.
But like, now take that into another perspective. What if you buy up all the like AIDS medication?
Oh, Jesus.
Or what if you buy up all the diabetes
things that people actually
medication?
need?
Yeah, dog.
Yeah.
Like, and now you own all that shit.
Well, I mean, the pharma companies are doing that already anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Right, totally. So really, you just be competing with them, and then they're really the best at
I'm leveling the playing field, all I do.
Right, totally.
That's interesting that you say that, leveling the playing field, because to make matters worse for the bionic buyers among us, as you might imagine, there's competition between bots.
Oh my God.
Where they try to be seconds faster.
Oh my God. Like microseconds faster.
Yes, exactly. And the humans are stuck on the ground like little fleas just watching it happen.
Like Elysium.
And for anyone who's interested, there's a great Michael Bay documentary on this.
Called Transformers?
Called Transformers.
Awesome. I believe it's Transformers 9. Decepticons go hyper trading.
The companies don't really have much of an incentive to care if you think about it because they still get paid.
Yeah, they don't care. They don't give a shit.
Right.
The money still comes from the same place. Yeah.
Right. And the hype around the products being sold out, quote unquote, is great for their image.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was going to ask is that if there's no legislation to fight against this, what incentive does anybody have to not do it? Because it's not illegal. Right. I'm entering into a contract with this person. This person's trying to sell 100 of these widgets.
Yeah.
I'm going to buy every goddamn one of those things. Now, just because I use like a super like fast software program in order to like cut everybody else out of the market and buy it for myself, therefore kind of monopolizing the market. So maybe that does fall into some kind of weird like legal category or whatever. But I kind of get the whole point of like, well, look, like he's trading this thing, I'm buying those things.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
And obviously that's not it, but like, you know, there's obviously more to it than that. Right. But like, you know, I get how people be like, well, so what? What difference does it make? Yeah, exactly. You're like, well, that's not a free market, is it, asshole?
Yeah. So if you're thinking, hey, big deal, some people can't buy sneakers or Funko Pops or whatever, grow up.
Love Funko Pop.
There are companies that are paying millions of dollars or even more to get their computers physically closer to the New York Stock Exchange, for example.
Yes.
For precious fractions of a second.
Yes, that's actually what I was going to bring up in the hyper trading thing is that those fractions.
But in computer time, that's
fucking light. It's an eternity, dude.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite like Star Trek freaking like lines or whatever was Kirk was like trying to explain something to somebody who wasn't like familiar with like the ship or whatever, and he's like, "You don't understand. If we to do what you were asking us to do, we would need to drop our shields and then like push up the power layer, or that would take like about." And he like turns over to Spock, and he's like, Spock's like about 3.5 seconds, and he's like, and Kirk's like, "An eternity in fucking like in our time, basically." Yeah, you know what I mean? He's like, "Dude, it cannot happen, dude. Like those 3 seconds, dude, lifetime."
Yeah. And that enables them to trade just not even faster than I can snap my fingers faster.
To make you better than the next guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
So not only are they trading like a bunch of things, but there's another thing that they can do where they can buy and sell so fast. And the difference between that time is like fractions of a cent. But if you do that at the speed of computers many
millions of times, that's millions of dollars or whatever.
Up.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, goddamn right. I'm pretty sure that was literally in the movie Hackers, where like they develop, or even in that movie The Office, where that Mike Judge movie, really good movie, it's hilarious.
Okay.
Where basically they come up with this way that this algorithm will like
Office Space.
Sorry, The Office.
Like,
What an
The
asshole!
Office is a TV
I never
show.
even saw that show. Fucking, I literally never even saw that show. Yeah, Office Space. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
How dare I? Fucking yeah. The Mike Judge movie.
Like, this sounds a lot like Office
This
Space.
sounds like the movie. I think I'm just gonna let him dig himself into his hole real quick. But they basically freaking they develop like the software program that rounds off that fraction of a cent and actually puts it into like a little bank account.
Right.
So it's like little fractions of a cent, but like over and 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 over again
Eventually.
will actually eventually lead up to a bunch of money.
For sure.
Basically, the plot of Superman 4.
The stock market has been completely changed by things like bots and algorithms and
Hypertrading
AI.
and stuff, yep.
Yeah. Because what is the stock market but prediction and timing?
Oh my god!
Which is
Yeah,
what
exactly.
computers
That's
were built
literally
for.
what it is. Dude. Yeah, exactly. Gaming.
Yeah. So as you can imagine, these bots can generate a lot of web traffic, and sometimes servers can't handle it, which brings me to DDoS bots, which stands for Digital Denial of Service.
That's awesome. That's cool that we're talking about this because all this relates to what we're about to talk about.
Isn't it great?
Cool.
The synergy between even the shorts
Totally.
we're doing in the episodes
Totally.
too. So DDoS is where bots can like Eiffel Tower a server until she just completely shuts down.
Depending on what part of the country you're from and what like context you're talking about, that could be
It's hardcore robot
different
sex.
things. Hardcore robot sex.
Hardcore robot sex. I hope that if I say robot sex and stuff like that enough that the algorithms might like put us to number one.
Yeah, right. Just say boobs a lot and like, things like that. And then it'll catapult us to number one.
Right. So when you hear about a website or like say a gaming service go down, this is usually the cause. That sort of leads me to...
That's why sometimes they have like viruses and worms and stuff like that basically have like denial of service actions or they like try to refresh the page like 1,000 times a second, crashing it.
Right. Yeah. So the worst of all is the botnet. So if your device gets an internet transmitted disease...
those are the worst, man. You got to go in there and it's all embarrassing and everyone's looking at you and you got to take your computer up there and they're just like, what kind of websites were you searching? And you're like, dude, just like regular ones.
I don't know. My grandma opened this email.
Of course they don't believe you and they just say, right this way.
Yeah. And you got the protesters outside with their signs, and stuff, calling you names.
Yeah, exactly, right? Saying you're going to fucking burn in digital hell and stuff.
Like, who are you to judge, man? Like,
hey,
living my life here. Living my best life.
Right. Right? Doesn't your religion say you're not supposed to judge me? Come on, don't judge me, Mikey.
Yeah, so your computer can be made to execute a bot function sometimes without you even knowing, if you don't even know where to look. It's become one with a botnet. This is just a series of
It's like
controlled...
the bot matrix.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Or like zombie bots. No, go back to the first one. The bot matrix is way back.
Our objective is simple. To ready the population for participation in our galactic community. This method requires a small sacrifice.
Oh, that sounds terrible. Is that from This Is the End?
Yes.
Oh,
I'm glad
nice.
you got it. Yes. So what can be done about the bots? Nothing. We're screwed.
I'm thinking solar flare.
Yeah, EMP.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there are some technical...
Blot out the sun in some way, shape, or form.
There are some technical ways that web developers can identify bot traffic, but I want people to actually listen to this, so we're not going to go into that here. CAPTCHAs, as you mentioned earlier, right? They used to be, those hard-to-read backwards pink letters with like a line through them and numbers and stuff. But now it's all like, click on the pictures with refreshing ice cold Coca-Cola. Oops,
Yeah, right, totally.
Oh, nice. Start over.
You're not allowed to fucking voice out corporate sponsors unauthorized.
Come on, dude. I gotta get money somehow.
And it's the choice of a new generation.
Exactly. Why wouldn't you like an ice cold refreshing Coca-Cola?
Right.
So there are companies that are selling different products with systems because they don't want to encourage scalpers and collectors, and they want to sell to true fans. There are some websites that are selling things. They're trying to thwart the bots. So they're coming up with these new systems, kind of like I said earlier, but
something that kind of makes you like verify your humanness.
Yeah. But it's a cat and mouse game.
Yep, that's how all that stuff is.
Yeah.
Bank robberies, security systems,
Right.
all the things, whatever. You build a better, more secure lock.
Yep.
You just created a person who can pick that lock, basically. Like,
Exactly.
It never ends.
I'm glad you said that because I actually wrote in here Drew's lock picker analogy.
Right? I use that for everything. When people fucking say like, "We just need this or that," I'm like, it's just going to create. It's just escalation.
Yeah.
It's just escalation, dude. Like, you can't stop people from being who they are.
What
bro.
is that? Was that Daffy Duck or was it? Maybe it was Yosemite Sam, where they're just pointing
keep
guns at each other.
Yeah, until like it just backs up. It's a picture of like Earth with two gigantic, ridiculously sized guns pointed at each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, run! He's got a board with a nail in it.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of if you follow like piracy, like digital piracy and like DRM.
Digital piracy. Never mind.
Yeah, digital piracy and DRM.
Thought you meant like like rum and the Caribbean and.
There's a documentary
scurvy.
with Johnny Depp.
Yeah, exactly.
Legislation, which legislation,
it helps maybe.
it usually lags behind technology anyway.
Oh, fucking yeah, big
at
time.
the rate at which technology moves and the rate at which like Congress moves.
Yeah. Well, government is downstream from society. You
Absolutely.
know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And,
politics is downstream from culture, I guess is the term.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And, criminals going to criminate. Anyway, it's like, okay,
criminals going to criminate, bro.
You make a law, like, okay, I'm already like doing something completely immoral and
probably
probably
people are
illegal.
talking about freaking like gun laws and stuff.
Exactly.
Like, that fucking criminals don't give two shits about that kind of thing, right? Or drugs or what.
I'm going to make it illegal to own this gun. Well, I still am going to use this gun to rob you anyway.
Oh, shit, I can't use it? Oh, I'm sorry, right this way. Like,
let me stop robbing this bank.
yeah, totally. Oh, if somebody just had told me ahead of time, I'm so sorry. I'll get a different gun and I'll come back tonight next week. I apologize. I'm sorry. I'm embarrassed, really.
All right, Drew, here's an acronym trigger warning. In 2016, Congress passed the Better Online Ticket Sales Act, or the BOTS Act.
Fuck off.
but the legislation only outlawed bots for buying tickets. So again,
so you can still do hyper trading with everything else and
yeah, or people could just stop being greedy.
Yeah, just be sound. You know what I mean? Just quit being cunts. Like if that's, not too much to ask everybody.
If you take nothing else from this episode, guys, just be aware that if you're talking to someone online, you're probably getting catfished. Somehow.
They're probably trying to like lure you into a false sense of security, and then you're going to wake up in like a bathtub full of ice with a kidney missing. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's a dude. It's a DHS agent. Or it's a bot.
Exactly. Guaranteed, dude. So don't trust it.
Or, perhaps even if you're listening to a podcast.
Right now.
Insert laughter. Hey, guys, ring that bell. Smash the like button. Hit us up on Patreon.
More money. I'm sorry.
Process complete.
Do you enjoy the show and want to help it grow? Don't hesitate. Like, share, and donate.
Drew, who does the hours of research, and Markus, who plays video games instead of editing like he's supposed to.
That's funny. I like that.
Drew, who plans and executes the heist, and Markus, who drives the getaway car. Drew, who assembles the radioactive core, and Markus, who's just here to steer the missile. Drew, who throws Hail Marys from the 50-yard line, and Markus, who takes the ball and runs it into the end zone for the win.
This would be way funner than doing podcasts, by the way. if people had like lines and stuff for like characters and shit to do, and just do them a bunch of times till we like how they sound or whatever.
That's what voice acting is.
Awesome.
Though typically you have a better writer and voice director.